To go.
We are going live.
So it's ready to go on mine, so.
Yeah, cool. Let's see what happens. I think. All right, we're live. Hello, everybody.
Right, there we go.
Hi,
everyone.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
So, first ever live stream. A little bit weird this because we're not entirely sure how it's going to go. We just hope it goes well. Thank you for joining us. We are looking forward to this, aren't we, Mike?
Yeah, definitely.
And everyone's predicting that you're going to fall asleep. So how long do you think it's going to be before you go to sleep?
Oh, it'll be fine.
You'll be fine?
Yeah.
Oh, hello everybody. I see lots of people commenting. Thank you to Mark Justin, who's used Super Chat. Thank you very much for that. Hi, Luca. I'm going to try and keep up with everyone and just keep saying hello. So we've got a question from Mark Justin. Do you have a date for when you will make the call on whether or not the America trip is going to go ahead? As I'm planning on America trip too. We are probably going to say sometime February, Mike. End of February, we're thinking, aren't we, at this point?
Yeah, towards the end of February, hopefully we will have a good idea then.
Yeah. We're hoping by then people will be giving us a clear idea, especially if travel will be happening in terms of, Carl says it'll be 30 minutes before you're asleep.
Yeah, no, it'll be longer than that.
To be fair, Carl, he did last longer than that when we were playing on F1 back in the summer. So
yeah,
we'll see how long it goes. But we won't mention F1 because Carl's not very good on it, and everyone should know that. I'm sure he'll comment and say otherwise in a minute. But yes, everyone should check out Top Thrill Tourists, which is where Carl's from. But also, before we get into any other questions and stuff like that, I just want to say a massive thanks to Luke from Coaster Gen and Mark Raybold from Mushroom Productions, a Coaster channel as well. Both have been a massive help to sort us out. Oh, we have a complaint of lag. Apologies for that if that's the case. Still says excellent connection here, so hopefully that is the case for everyone. It's a little bit slow. Oh yeah, we've got a bit of a message.
Lag on.
You getting lag? Oh dear.
Yeah.
Keep moving, Mike. Yeah, keep moving. How's it looking for my technical team in the other room? Is it all right, Becca? Or has started lagging? Right. Apologies for the lag. Don't really know why we're lagging at this point. That's not a good start. Bear with me. This is new to us, so again, if it is lagging, do apologise. Going to try and keep up with the questions. Bring back F1 Friday, Big Dave. It's a good shout, that is. Not sure what to do with this lagging. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain streaming, so we're lagging. Not sure what to do. Right, we're going to try and keep going with these questions. Apologies for any lag and stuff like that. This is totally new to us, so
it does seem to be sorting itself out the last few seconds. So
yeah, I've still got an error message. So I'm going to go through some of the questions, and hopefully, in the meantime, the lag will sort itself out. There's a couple of questions about Blackpool Pleasure Beach opening weekend on the 6th of February. Honestly, I don't think it'll happen. Because
I don't think it'll happen either.
I think Tier 4 is going to be a problem. I really do. But hopefully by then, things will have started sorting itself out a little bit. Someone's put, I was asking if you could make a video about going to Florida, Busch Gardens, and when to go. That's something we'll look to cover in the travel guide. I've only ever been to Florida the one time. So I'd have to get Becca's help for that because Becca's been a lot more times than me. But it's something that we could definitely look at doing. Definitely. Chris says, are we looking to go to Oakwood? It's been a while since we've been, Mike.
Yeah, it's in a plan that I've made for possibly going over the summer. Really, everyone knows what the situation is at the moment. Play it by ear of whether we're going to be able to go to various places, but I've plotted a bit of a road trip over the summer down south, so possibly.
Yeah. hopefully, I mean, it would be nice to go, without doubt. It's been a long time since we've all been together. We did a little trip. I've got instructions off Mark about the stream. Okay, that's going to show up on here, isn't it? But Mike, I'm just having a look at the stream health, trying to make sure everything's...
Yeah.
So, yeah. Again, apologies for the lag. This is new to us, so we're still trying to sort of figure it all out as we go. Also trying to keep an eye out on all the comments as well.
Yeah.
If everybody could let us know in the comments how the lag's doing for you, that would be a big help. It's still showing not great here. But I'm going to quickly grab my phone because I've got a message about it. Right, ignore me. I'm just on my phone a second. I'll let you answer some of the questions, Mike, if you can see them. I'm just going to try and fix this. I can see
a few coming through, so I'll just grab them as I see them.
Good stuff.
Pinky's Productions. Let me just read the question out.
Oh.
So, what ride at Blackpool that's gone to either another park or been removed that you miss? Honest ones for me, obviously the Wild Mouse. I think everyone misses that. What else would I go with? There's not been too many removals in the amount of time that I've been going, but I think the Mouse is the biggest one, definitely for me. What about you, Scott?
What's that? Ride
biggest missed ride? X-Ride from Pleasure Beach?
Oh, it'd probably have to be the log flume, honestly.
Log flume.
I do miss the Wild Mouse, but not as much as probably everybody else does. Largely because for the last 2 or 3 years, we hardly got on it anyway, because when it was open, it had a massive queue.
Well, massive queue.
And I think it was just one of those where, admittedly, we did take it for granted. It was kind of like, we'll go on it tomorrow, or we'll go on it next week, or we'll go on it another time.
So we'll be going on that Friday when it'll be really quiet in a few weeks, so we'll do it then, and it's shut.
Planet Dragon asks, do you think we'll be out of lockdown by May 1st? Hopefully.
I hope so.
I really hope so, because it's a long time until then.
Yeah.
I'm still seeing signs about there's very different things about the lag. Some are saying the lag's bad. Some are saying it's not so good.
Yeah. Some are saying it seems to be all right. So it seems to be settling itself down.
Yeah. Oh, Mike, is your shoulder recovered from King's Island? Probably not, to be honest.
No.
Oh, yeah. Silent Alita, I appreciate you having lag issues. We apologise for that, but you don't have to keep commenting. You probably aren't helping the situation. So we are doing our best to sort out the lag here. I'm still getting issues with it. I don't know if Mike is.
Yeah, but there is a sync issue between audio and sound, obviously, and I will be in front of the feed anyway, so...
Yeah. So Mark Raybold says... Sorry, Mark. Didn't keep saying your full name. Mushroom Productions, Mark, says, if you're experiencing the lag, reduce the quality. There's a bit of lag every now and then. Overall, it's fine. I think the main thing is, if the sound's okay, that's hopefully the main thing. Like I say, I'm not great on this live stream stuff, and we did say that things would probably go wrong. So yeah. I'm going to put the blame on Mike here, because he ran off to get an energy drink just before we started. So he took all the energy away from the stream, clearly, and gave it to himself. So Mike's not going to fall asleep now. Guarantee it. No chance of Mike falling asleep. I'm calling it now. I'm going to try and keep up with these questions. Just in the meantime, I'm going to do my best to keep them going. I'm just reply to Preston about the quality of the lag. I'm on quite an old webcam here, kind of like, I need a webcam for this live stream. So the main thing is that we want it to be heard, and if the lag's still a bit dodgy, I apologise for that. I'm going to try and keep up with some of the questions. Favourite operator at the the Pleasure Beach is a tough one. um,
Got to go for the guy off PBE, haven't you?
he's a great guy, but
He's a really good guy. But there's loads of really awesome staff at Pleasure Beach.
yeah, the Pleasure Beach staff especially did a great job once they'd opened after lockdown last year. It was definitely last year, Mike.
Well, do you know, I've lost track of what was last year, this year, next year, and whenever at the moment.
Favourite memories at Blackpool Pleasure Beach is definitely from the 90s, and in terms of childhood memories, the 90s. But it's hard to pinpoint an exact memory just because there's just been so many. Do you think the river caves will get refurbished? Hard to say. I think they'll keep modernising some of the scenes.
I think it always gets refurbished, doesn't it? It's one of them that's more of a work in progress that they just keep ticking over with it than anything.
Yeah. In terms of Storm Chase at Poulton's Park, definitely looking forward to that one. And looking forward to going, to be honest, with Becca and Charlie, because it looks like a really good family park that we will enjoy as a family, because there is bigger coasters to do, and obviously there's a lot to do for Charlie as well, so that's going to be really good. Cavani or Van der Beek to be a permanent starter?
Both.
Definitely should be both. I'm not going to get on the subject of Solskjaer because we're second and only 3 points off top at this point.
Yeah.
Apparently, two sons just come on for Everton. He always strikes me as somebody that could be really good for them. But with that River Caves question, then we've got Icon Team. Yeah, Icon Team are great. Hello from Blackpool. Hello from crew. Was 94 the best ever year for roller coasters? Oh, it says the stream's going to improve, everybody. I've just got a message saying it's now an excellent connection, so hopefully it's going to get better. Will Mike Mondays come back? Mike, that is up to you. It depends how often I see Mike, really.
Yeah, at the moment, with everything with video production, we're at the mercy of lockdown rules.
Yeah, definitely.
At the moment, we're not allowed to meet up, which certainly we're not allowed to obviously go to each other's houses, which means that I can't be in the videos at the moment. That's why I've not been on them for 3 months. Is
Mike going to try and beat his free rides on the log flume at the Rugrats log flume? Definitely, I think.
Well, opening day might hopefully be a bit warmer this year.
Well, it might well be in May. That's the problem.
That's the thing.
So yeah, we really don't know. Next question from Kane is, what rides do you think will be removed this decade? Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for this, but steeplechase. I'm sorry. It's just I can't see it lasting another decade, but I could be wrong. Really could be wrong on that. Mike, any thoughts on rides being removed?
Decade, yeah, probably. Yeah, that will go.
Yeah.
I have a feeling at some point in the decade, Nickelodeon Land's going to get an overhaul again.
Yeah, quite possibly.
With the sort of the way the deal is with them and some of the rides being on leases and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's a chance that they may swap out rides.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be interesting to see what happens there. What smell pod is used in the Alice ride? I'm not sure, but
I got told it was Febreze at some point.
I think you might have been. I don't know. I think someone might have been Avignon with that, but you never know. I'm
sure it was off Keith Allen that said it though, a few years ago.
Yeah, I think it was about 2007 he said that, but it was whether he was winding us up, because Keith did like to wind us up so that we used to put stuff on the forum.
Online,
it was totally wrong. Good evening, Dominic. Any ideas what the main changes to Valhalla will be? Honestly, it's impossible to say because
not a clue.
Pleasure Beach have kept that one really, really secret. I mean, sometimes if you've been watching PB for a while, you'll know that we got quite a lot of info about Icon as it was happening. It was like, oh, come this day, tracks arriving, or come this day, we're building the station. With Valhalla, there has been very, very, very little information, which is quite nice,
The only thing we
actually.
can say for definite is that the station's been redone.
Yes.
That's the only thing we can say for definite, and that's for multiple rewrites of flying machines to be able to see it.
Yeah. Favourite log flume, Mike?
Oh, good question. Lisa Berg's is up there. Six Flags Great Adventure.
Oh, that was a classic.
And PA, Portaventura, Silver River
Portaventura's
Flume.
log flume.
Yeah,
Purely
I
for
think
the
they're
mega
probably
wave.
the best ones.
Definitely.
Used
for
to
the
be
mega
Logger's Leap when it had the double drop.
Oh, I'm just catching up with comments. It turns out I hadn't scrolled down and I'm about 500 comments behind. Sorry if I'm a bit slow with these questions, everybody. What's your favourite non-roller coaster at Pleasure Beach? Oh, that's an interesting one. Pleasure Beach Express. Can't beat it. You can't beat it on a nice summer's day watching the day at the Pleasure Beach pass as you're going round. And we've got, I'll let you think about that one. Wonder if Pleasure Beach will extend the season. It's difficult to say. If you own Blackpool Pleasure Beach, what would you replace Steeplechase with? That's a good question.
RMC
Raptor. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad thing.
Small footprint.
Yeah.
Big thing. They are the ride of the moment, aren't they, really?
Yeah, fair enough. And Becca's posted in the comments about if you're having trouble with the lag still, make sure your quality settings are not set to automatic, just because it doesn't handle streams very well. Do you think Pleasure Beach will open on the 6th of February? I don't think so. I hope so, but I don't think so.
I think we'll still be in. I still think we'll be possibly in Tier 4 or Tier 3.
I think you guys up in Lancashire and Greater Manchester, I think you're going to be stuck in Tier 4 for ages. I mean, us in Cheshire went from Tier 2 to Tier 4 in a matter of days, and nobody really knows why. It just seems to be like, we missed somewhere.
Without getting into politics too much.
You're not allowed anyway.
Without getting into that too much, we're definitely being punished for standing up.
Yeah, definitely. Any progress on the Valhalla behind-the-scenes video you mentioned? It's a no, unfortunately, for a couple of reasons. But main reason being that this is really embarrassing. But the place that it's archived has actually died over the winter, which has cost me quite a few of my video uploads that I've got planned for the next couple of weeks and months, including something about Efteling, something about Toverland, something about Wallaby Holland. All my footage was stored on there from the last couple of years, so that died over just before Christmas, and one of the fixes recommended for that little archive was to actually put it in the freezer and freeze it, and then there was some weird stuff on that one, wasn't there, Becca? But it didn't work, unfortunately.
Freeze something.
Which ride would you fancy working on for a shift at Pleasure Beach? Big one, all day long. And it's, in fact, when it was windy, just for the challenge of running it in the high winds.
Yeah.
Trying to wonder how the situation is with Drayton Manor. That one I can't comment. But like Water Valley, I am worried for them.
Definitely.
We'll move on from that one, just because I don't want to speculate parks closing, because we really don't want that. I'm still trying to catch up with these comments, just because I'm slow. Do you think we'll see winter weekend events this year at Pleasure Beach, Mike?
What was that?
Do you think we'll see a Christmas event at Pleasure Beach this year?
Do you know it might end up happening?
Yeah.
With the way things are going at the moment, it may well end up happening that we end up with we might end up going into January.
Yeah.
Next year. It might happen to get a full season out of it.
The thing is, you never know what they've got planned with it being the 125th year anniversary as well. They might look at it and go, well, we don't want a short season. We want to prolong it as long as we can. What I would be worried about is if they were open, say, like this year when it was Tier 3 and the park was dead. If, say, they opened in November and December and the weather was absolutely terrible and they couldn't really get anyone there because the weather's also... what's this? We got, just checking some of the comments again. Beyond the Edge is saying about the quality. Have you checked that it's not on automatic? We've got, what was it, Becca? Make sure it's not on automatic and it should be better, just because the stream.
Saying it is working.
Yeah, I mean it is showing that it's working here, but I can still see that there's the occasional bit of lag. So hopefully it's
a little bit.
The main thing is hopefully that you can hear us, and that'll be the main thing. I'm trying to keep up with these comments as well. Mark's facial expressions in the scare mazes. Well, Mark's not with us tonight, but yeah, they're always a great moment. He has
put a comment in the chat further down.
Oh, good. I'm slow with these.
Yeah.
people are missing studs. Do you know what? We're missing studs too.
Yeah.
But the problem with Stuz, and if he's watching, hi Stuz, is he's not really grasped technology yet, you see. So
No,
there was
we
no
don't have
chance
it
of getting him
openly.
on a live stream. Absolutely no chance. But yeah, Stuz is all right. I briefly saw him when I was working in Lancashire a couple of weeks ago on a little video job. So I did see Stuz very, very, very briefly, and he was doing fine. Seemed happy as ever. Looking forward to getting back in videos. He's looking forward to playing a part in the Pleasure Beach documentary, which, Mike, we wanted to start filming by now, didn't we?
Yeah, we'd planned to have it done by now, but
Pretty much.
like I say, we're all remote at the moment, so.
Why would I remove Steeplechase before the Grand Prix? I think it just boils down to what would you replace the Grand Prix with? Grand Prix has got a wider audience. You can take toddlers on it, so it's a good family attraction. In terms of Steeplechase, it's a difficult one, really. It just takes up quite a lot of space, and I think that you could probably get something in there that had probably got better capacity and was probably a better coaster, and maybe just, this hurts me to say this as an aerodynamics fan, but maybe something that's a bit more with the times. Question about the big one, do you prefer riding it day or night? It's got to be the night, always the night. Mullet's doing fine as well. I've been talking to Mullet on Messenger. Mark is in the chat here. I think Mullet will probably get involved at some point in the chat, hopefully. But yeah, Mullet's fine as well. He's looking forward to doing some trips with us at some point next year.
Yeah.
Namely Siam Park, if it goes ahead. One particular
if we can do that.
I'm sorry, Mike. I probably shouldn't have mentioned that, should I? Because now everyone's going to be thinking about you flipping, doing your backflip.
There's been about 15 comments about me falling over in various places that I've seen.
I've not seen those, but to be fair,
loads of them.
To be honest, you probably should be fine. You shouldn't be falling over at the minute.
No, I'm sat on a chair.
Yeah. As long as you don't backflip off that, you're all good. Just avoid any conveyor belts.
You'll just see feet.
What would you like Pleasure Beach's next coaster to be, if it isn't an RMC Raptor?
I guess it depends exactly where it's going and what it's sort of replacing.
Yeah. So I think the ideal location is a Bowlerdrome.
Yeah, definitely.
I really do think that kind of area going, take Planet Rock with it. I can't remember what I said on the video that me and Mark did about what if we own Blackpool Pleasure Beach, but I definitely put a coaster there. Whether I put an RMC there, I don't know. I don't know if an RMC is the right thing for Pleasure Beach, because I just fear that if Pleasure Beach got an RMC, does that really kill the popularity of the Woodies? Does that completely kill it with a GP? With enthusiasts, maybe not so much. But with the GP, they'd be going, well, why is that wooden coaster smoother than the other ones? Why can't the old ones be like that? That's potentially the issue you've got.
And then you've got to start getting into the conversation of, well, that one's not really wood, the track's metal, and this, that, and the other, and it's...
Just want to say thank you to Stephen McGowan. And please, can you start another Planet Coaster series? Well, funny you should mention that, actually, because me and Becca have been playing on Planet Coaster a lot lately. All the time on PS5, we've been on it so much, and I have been thinking that maybe at some point a little series might show on the channel. What it'll be, I don't know. It might well be a case of we build the park first in sandbox mode and then do a bit of a walk round. Because what I found when we were doing the Planet Coaster videos is I just couldn't concentrate on the game and the video at the same time, but it was the first time I'd done anything like that. A bit like this is the first time we've done this, and maybe we're not so good at doing this either, but I think we're growing into it, and I think that the connection's better now. But generally speaking, I would like to do something Planet Coaster again, but how we do it, I'm not so sure yet. But it's something we're definitely going to look at, because we've got a couple of ideas in sort of what parks we're going to build. So, yeah, watch this space on that one. That was a long-winded answer. Mike, you're playing Planet Coaster a lot at the minute, aren't you?
I've not played it for a few weeks, but yeah, I have been playing it. Yeah, I have been playing it. Yeah, I bought it on PC quite recently, so I have played it. There's a couple of other games that I bought recently as well that I've been playing, but yeah, I've started. I must admit, I struggle getting into it a bit.
Ah, fair enough.
I think the problem is some of it is because I do the challenges a lot, and it's the managing the. I think some of the financial side of the game is a bit.
It's dodgy, isn't it?
OTT, and I mean the thing that I always have trouble with, and I've not got my head around yet, is this the rotoring thing for shops.
No, we've not really got used to that either, to be honest.
No.
So let's have a look.
It's a bit of a pointless aspect, to be honest.
I will never forget the moment when you guys got stuck on the awful log flume, and then the staff had to come and rescue you both. We will never forget that either. That was fun. That was funny. I always laugh when I watch that video back, and yeah, to be honest, we were really ready for a splash of water on that. But once we'd been sat on that lift hill for the best part of 15 minutes, and as you could both see, we're both going bald, or Mike's there. Yeah. We were getting very sunburned, and I was just thinking, I haven't got the best skin under my eyes and my nose anyway, and I was thinking, I'm going to get really, really sunburnt here. This is not going to end well. So I was very, very grateful when that ride op showed up and was like, all right, guys, time to get off. It's like, yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was well ready for that.
I want to hear, what's your thoughts on the Portaventura La Liga project, DH1?
That's one for you, that.
I don't really know what it's going to be. I must admit, I've not looked into it much. It's an interesting link up. There's obviously they won't be the first part to do the football link up because Europa's got the football dome in the England section with the Dodgem track and whatnot in it. That sports bar thing.
Yeah.
Because they did have a football shop outside it at one point, didn't they?
They did. They used to,
outside the door. It was dead expensive, but
it was because it was funny because it was an outlet store that was anything but outlet prices. It was like
they were selling like 2-year-old shirts at full whack.
Like $75 for a United top that was about 5 years old. It's like, no, I'll pass on that, thanks. But yeah, there was I don't know what they'll do with the La Liga stuff. To be honest, I've been quite critical of Portaventura because I think that they lost direction with Ferrari Land, but I do enjoy a good lap on Red Force. I must say, good evening to Mark Forrest, a fellow Pleasure Beach super fan. Welcome to the madness. Hopefully it's not lagging. Hello everybody that has joined us in the last 10 or 15, 20 minutes. Wow, we've been going for half an hour nearly already. Where's time going?
Yeah, I know.
That's cool. Oh, Rick, it was Scott that replied, not Becca, but good effort. We must go and visit Rick, actually, in Central Pier. We must go and bug him at some point. Yeah, now everyone knows where you work, Mr. I won't comment your username just in case you do end up with loads of people coming in to say hello, because you know how flustered you get whilst you're working on your little machines.
Hey, Craig's in.
It's been... Oh, no, is he coming to give us bad news on the score?
No, because it's not kicked off yet.
No, that's the point. 8 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah.
So,
Carl, 2 minutes for me to fall asleep. Not happening.
Carl, what's your forfeit if Mike doesn't fall asleep? I think we should...
He can come down the garage and buy me another 3 cans of Relentless.
What, so you stay awake so he keeps losing the bet?
Yeah.
That sounds good. So has anyone got any trivia questions for Mike? Because he's not very good at trivia on the spot. So if anyone's got any questions in the comments for Mike about Vekoma, he'll probably embarrass himself. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, it's weird. Oh, dear. Just laughing at your comment to Rick. So, Mike, Vekoma, how many of them in England? Sorry, Britain.
20.
I think it's... Isn't it 19?
I'm sure you told me 20 the other day.
I can't remember. It was something like that, wasn't it? Where's the Brummer fella? He's sound. That might well be Craig.
That's Craig Ty.
Yeah.
He has just joined the chat.
Craig has joined the chat, definitely. How would you feel about Pleasure Beach being taken over by a major theme park company?
No.
It's not for me, that. Not for me. I think anybody that loves the Woodies would probably not enjoy a company like, I won't name a company in particular, but a particular company that's not family owned taking over Pleasure Beach would probably not be great for the park if you like it how it is now. But
and even really though, innit? Merlin, Six Flags, Cedar Fair, any
Yeah.
of them you wouldn't want, because the thing is, you'd end up with the park would end up with the corporate identity of whoever it is that owns it.
yeah, absolutely. I think it would go away from the Pleasure Beach that we know, and it would become a very, very different place. It's hard to make a comparison, really, because I can't think of anywhere that's been like Pleasure Beach that's suddenly been taken over. I guess Kennywood, really. I don't know how long they've been owned by the current owners, but you see a lot of the comments, and
They're not
a lot
popular.
of people aren't happy with what's going on there now compared to what was going on many years ago. There you go, Mike. What's the oldest operating Vekoma?
Oldest operating Vekoma. Ooh, good question. Oh, Flamingo Land's Corkscrew's still going, so I'd go with it being that one.
If somebody wants to do an RCDV check, that'd be excellent. Fancy a
Well,
Mac
now.
Big Dipper for steeplechase? Yeah, I'd go with that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know Flamingo Land's Corkscrew's still going, and that was not much newer than Towers one.
I see we're going to have to block Beyond the Edge. Becca's encouraging him to dig out dodgy photos from 8 years ago. This is not going to end well. Although, actually, it might, because I'll have more hair, won't be as fat, so
Yeah,
it's
with all
all
the
good.
hair
I'm
on.
happy. Bring it on. Come on, Rick. Let's see those pictures. Becca, stop encouraging him, please. Do the Thompsons have family to pass the part down to? Yes, they do. Definitely. Yeah. Nick has got at least one son. I'm not sure if his son would take it on, but he's definitely got at least...
There is a line of... there is a line there.
There's definitely family that could take over, definitely.
From the Icon opening, they did say that there are many of them interested, and some of them have done particular kind of learning and travelling and learning about parks. So
if that didn't come through on the mic, at the Icon Media Day, Becca was just reminding me that there was a lot of the Thompson family there a lot of them have started to take courses and do go around in the industry to sort of see how things are done, to sort of see what it'll be like if they do ever take over. Lots of questions to catch up again. Which is better, Icon or Helix? Absolutely no question in my mind that Helix is better.
I prefer Icon.
I know. I was waiting for that. No, it's Helix all day for me. Why do you prefer Icon?
It's hard to put my finger on. I just do.
You just do. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, you're wrong, Mike.
I don't know if you heard that, but Becca's shouting Mike's wrong.
That loud and clear.
So, hello lads. Do you think the UK should get an RMC? Yes. I'd love to see one at Fort Park. Wouldn't everybody? But I do feel like that is the place. Definitely. Mike, you're spot on about the corkscrew. Mike, do you like Infusion?
Do I like Infusion? Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to ask a question. Actually, no. Ideas for a Bradley Walsh themed ride. I'll let you think about that one.
A Bradley Walsh themed... What, are we having the chase on?
A ride themed on the chase.
The chase, yeah.
Becca's been asked if Becca is technical support. Becca is indeed technical support.
Technical support.
And, thankfully no technical hitches since the lagging. Oh, wait a minute. We've got Python at Efteling is the oldest operating Vekoma, if not counting the retrack. Becca, apparently you're not going to get lucky in these pictures.
To be fair, every time I went down, I was up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm keeping that as my excuse.
I don't know if everyone can hear Becca, but yeah. So a little bit of background. Beyond the Edge has known me, Mike, and Becca since 2006, 2007.
Yeah, 06.
He used to turn up to Pleasure Beach with a very fancy camera, taking lots of fancy photos, which, believe it or not, me and Mike will probably be wearing football shirts in them.
Always.
Always. So nothing has changed there. Although I do now wear Grandad jumpers, so
there's a couple of people when we say dodgies and dodgy photos, it's just being caught off guard. It's nothing more than that.
No, it's basically us looking like we've got big chins.
It'll be like someone had stilled me with a can like that or something.
Oh, I've got pictures of you putting pizza in your bag from 2013.
It appears to be, yeah.
Yeah, it isn't actually you putting pizza in your bag, but it looks like it. So, bit of it just had to be done. How much would you have paid to ride the Grand National at the back for 5 hours? How much would you have to be paid to ride the Grand National at the back? How much are you offering?
We'll start the bidding.
Start the bidding and it'll happen. Only if Pleasure Beach will let us film it, though, because I'm not doing it without any sort of evidence that it's been done.
No.
And then I think Craig asked us about behind the scenes, so I'm going to scroll back through the comments. Could I ask?
Somebody's just asked one. I always wear football shirts. What's my best one? Alfie's put. He likes the Salford Reds one. To point out, that's technically not a football shirt. It's the rugby league. But my favourite football shirt is a very difficult one. It's probably the black United away top, the Cantona one.
Right, so I've got to answer this question. Freddie Howson, I apologise for not answering this the first time. Beaver Creek or Nickelodeon Land has to be Beaver Creek just for the wolf sound effects that used to be by the log flume. I'm not going to try and recreate them, but they were excellent. And Beaver Creek, I grew up with Beaver Creek. My first ever Pleasure Beach rides in there, the helicopter ride, which was by the log flume, which I think the little drop tower rides there in place of now. That was my first ride at Pleasure Beach. To answer Craig as well, Evening All can ask what would be the best backstage tour you'd love to do, not just Pleasure Beach, anywhere. Mike, I'll let you do that one.
Ooh. Best one anywhere. Give me time to think about it.
So I'd like to, even though we've seen a lot of stuff with the big one, I'd like to actually go on an event tour of the big one when they're doing the transfer track, doing the wheel checks, doing the block tests. And we were going to do that on an event in May if we'd have been able to last year, but obviously it didn't happen. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to do that. Someone has said, come on, Celtic. Michael agree with that.
Yeah, go on. Well done for admitting you support Celtic with the way things are going at the moment.
Well, no Celtic fan's going to admit they support Rangers, are they? Who can handle their booze better?
Neither of them.
Neither of us. Becca's right, neither of us.
They're getting too old.
Too old, apparently.
Too old.
I put it down to that I don't drink very often anymore. And by the way, just for reference, I have one kidney, Mike, so you've no excuse.
I did drink a full bottle of Disaronno last night, and I'm still alive.
Yeah, well, I drank cups of tea last night. See what I mean? I just don't do alcohol. What do you think SW9 will be themed to?
Oh God, it could be anything.
It's a tough one. It's definitely a tough one. Are you planning a UK road trip? Definitely.
Yeah, I have planned one to go down south, and it's basically a south coast tour.
Yeah. Any plans for ERTs? Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, the one I've got planned is working my way down. So I start sort of on the east coast. I can't remember exactly what part, but Sussex way. Somebody that local will know pretty much where, and literally work my way round the country, and I end up at Oakwood.
Fair enough. So you are going to do Oakwood at some point.
Yeah. Question about why we planned a live stream for them when United are on telly at 8 o'clock. Simple answer is Sky hadn't announced the fixtures.
Yeah, and not only that as well. As far I can't really talk for Mike here, but in terms of me, Pleasure Beach experience comes before the football for me. So I kind of, even though Mike said, "Oh, there's probably going to be football that day," I just went, "Well, we need to make a decision," and we kind of decided quite a few weeks before that United were announced to be playing today. To be fair, I've not watched all the games lately anyway, because sometimes it's easier because it's just easier to watch the highlights at the minute, and I just get so frustrated with the way United play. I don't find them enjoyable to watch at the minute. It's boring, rubbish football at times, and that is the problem. But Mike,
just not
Mike's camera's moving. So, hi, I'm from Crewe. The town being demolished. We're in Tier 4 now. Yeah, the town centre in Crewe is absolutely dreadful. It's nothing like it used to be, that's for sure.
It's looking a lot better now they started demolishing it, though.
Yeah, it probably will do. I've not been up there for ages. How have you coped without Mr. Funshine biscuits? Who says I've not had any Mr. Funshine biscuits?
Well, that's what we keep up. You know when you can never get them off the websites because we've bought them all.
Yes, I may have ordered 15 packets before Christmas, and I can confirm that there is none left.
Yeah, I had 10 packets. They are all gone.
Yeah, so there might be another order going in for some of those, definitely.
Very quickly, yeah.
What's your favourite ride? For me is still Magnum XL 200. What's your favourite hair products? I don't know.
Hair products? Do we look like we use hair products?
Yeah, clearly on your arm hairs you use it. Use it for my beard. What's your favourite ride, Mike? Maverick?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Any plans for ERTs this year? Entirely depends on restrictions, unfortunately. What does everyone order from a Chinese? I don't eat Chinese food.
I don't. Ours is because it's a chippy as well, so it's normal chippy food.
It's all about chippies.
Yeah.
Chippy tea. Can't beat it. Favourite dart ride? Favourite dart ride, Mike?
Well, favourite dart ride? I've got to say that that ghost train at Breen was good.
Yeah. Terra Castle.
That one, yeah.
I'm going to have to say the Justice League one, Six Flags Great Adventure. That is excellent. That one's excellent. I don't know if you remember that one.
I'll tell you, I used to like Armageddon at Disneyland Paris. I know it's not there anymore, but
I don't think I went on that one, to be honest.
It's in the studio. It used to be in the studios park. I can't remember how long it is, but I think it's gone.
So what do we think of the Blackpool Central redevelopment coming? Do you think it'll be a massive influx for Pleasure Beach? I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, that's another one that sort of hit. We heard a lot about it at the time and nothing since.
I think there was an announcement about it again a couple of weeks ago, but for me, I think that it'll roar on for a long time before anything actually happens. And if it ever does happen, then happy days for Blackpool. Not sure how it'll go for Pleasure Beach. It's hard to say for definite. But I'm sure that anything really for Blackpool is good for Pleasure Beach in the long run. If it drags people to Blackpool, then Pleasure Beach have always got a chance. You've got the most perfect advertisement straight from the M55. You've got the big one. And I think if you drive in Southside, you're always going to see the big one. So I think Pleasure Beach's advertisement there is spot on. So we've got a question here from Preston. So thanks, Preston, for using Super Chat. He says, Happy New Year. My first roller coaster ever was Blue Streak at Cedar Point in 1976. Scott and Mike, what was your first roller coaster? Now, I can tell you mine was not very glamorous. It was the Nessie roller coaster in Rill, outside of the old Sun Life Centre water park.
Sun Centre.
That was it, the Sun Centre.
Yeah. Mine, I don't know for definite, but there is a very high likelihood that it was the Caterpillar Capers at Camelot.
Sounds about right.
Because it was the Caterpillar ride when you went virtually inside the gate.
Yeah.
So probably. I know my first sort of big coaster was Alton Towers Corkscrew.
Yeah.
Which is why I like Tacoma so much.
Yeah, it is. That's the thing. I think I'm drawn to Arrows because of their connection at Pleasure Beach. But the first big coaster I did at Pleasure Beach, I can't remember exactly if it was a Grand National or roller coaster.
Probably.
But it might well have been it was one or the other, definitely. What's your top pick for a bucket list Arrow? For me, that's a tough one because it's either Desperado, which is currently SPNO, but it opens and then closes, and it opens and it closes. And then you've got Loch Ness Monster, you've got Tennessee Tornado, and there's a couple of
Loch
others.
Ness Monster.
Yeah, so Loch Ness Monster, in terms of operational, is definitely one of them. Definitely.
Yeah. I'd like to get on as many of the hypers as possible.
Yeah, I mean, there's only obviously we've done Magnum, big one's been done. Desperado is closed and then open. Like I say, we don't know whether that's ever going to be open.
Revenge, which is as close as we're going to get.
Yeah, to the original one of that, and then Titan Max is unfortunately gone. Do I like the Boulevard Hotel? I've not actually stayed in it, but I have done a room tour of it, and I would say, I'm just laughing at the Central Project car park comment. Do you like the Boulevard Hotel? Yes, it's nice, but I would rather stay in a Big Blue. I'd rather have the better views that you get of the Pleasure Beach. So, why did they not save Nightmare? Unfortunately, I think it was just left to rot that badly in the end.
Yeah,
nobody could buy it.
There's a couple of rumours relating to it. One was that I did hear that there was some sort of complex ownership that meant the money being asked for it was a lot more than what realistically it was actually worth.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was $3 million at least.
Something like that.
Which I think there's been coasters built for less from the likes of the Gravity Group.
And this was at a point as well where it had already been stood for about 18 months.
Yeah.
And it had already, at that point, it had already started to rust.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't in the best nick when it was open, to be fair. It looked, I don't know if it was the paint job or just the way it was.
The paint, to be honest. I don't
just
think
didn't
the paint
look great back then either.
Yeah. I don't think the brown paint ever did it any justice.
No, that's the thing. Will we be at Pleasure Beach Season Pass registration day? I don't
know if there's going to be any.
Don't think there's going to be one
in the normal format.
No, unfortunately, I don't think.
And certainly, I don't think we probably wouldn't be able to attend them.
No.
In the current format. One, because we would have to probably go through an enhanced sort of contractor process.
Yeah.
In current climate.
So, bucket list trip for 2021 is the America event. If the America event goes ahead, definitely. I will be a very, very, very happy man. 14 months of planning, so that is very much bucket list. I know that Mike's probably the same on that one.
Yeah, definitely. That's the be all and end all at the moment, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. We are pinning all our hopes on that one. That's the thing at the minute. So we've just been asked who'd win in a Royal Rumble, Mike. I'd say back in the old days, it probably would have been me.
Probably.
But now, probably you. I'm just thinking about when you got tipped out of bed in Salou. You were faffing.
That was funny, that.
I couldn't do that now.
No, that was funny.
Go on, Mike. You can...
I'm thinking of who... I mean, it depends what we're classing as PBE, done it?
Yeah.
If there's a wider house, Chris Ryan would probably batter us both because he's a lot fitter than we are.
Well, yeah. To be fair, he lifted you out of my front doorstep last year when you rolled down the stairs.
I'll give him that one. In fairness,
fireman training came in handy there.
Yeah, I will give him that one.
Yeah, so I think we'll go with Chris. Chris is the winner. Put your arm up for Chris. Send you the referee. Chris is probably watching, going, "Shut up, you two. You're being a nuisance." Any news on Valhalla? Unfortunately, absolutely nothing.
It had the station worked on, and that's about it.
Do you still have to book an e-ticket if you're a Pleasure Beach season pass holder?
As far as we know, yes.
Yes, that will be the case. There will be no registration events, and as far as I know, and all season passes will be digital from now on, which is going to be interesting.
Suits me.
Yeah, I think it works for not having all the wristband faff, and I think it'll mean getting in the park a lot quicker as well. Definitely. So, be interested to see what happens there.
I had heard something I mean, I don't know how likely things are to go along, but that they were talking about that you would have an e-ticket at ride entrances. You would use your e-ticket at ride entrances. Now, I don't know whether things have changed since then, but certainly from my point of view, obviously I've got an Apple Watch, and I find that quite useful because it means I can just use my watch in the same way I would with a wristband.
What's the best park you have visited in the world?
Cedar Point.
Yeah, I've got to say, Universal Islands of Adventure is definitely up there. It's definitely up there as one of them. It's maybe a park I didn't appreciate enough when we were there, but I was a little bit upset over the fact that there was no Jaws ride. And yeah, I think looking back, I probably should have enjoyed it more than I did, but I still think it was a brilliant park. But to be predictable, Cedar Point, definitely. But I think if you take Magnum out of Cedar Point, then maybe I'd be saying something different. I don't know. I think for me, if they didn't have that ride, I probably wouldn't rush back as often. I really wouldn't. That's the truth. It's a great park, but I probably wouldn't be like, I need to get back as much as I do. And a part of that is because I don't think it'll last that much longer. I just don't.
The one I really enjoyed, I'd like to have a more of a visit there, is Great Adventure.
Oh, definitely. That's a 2-day park, no doubt about it.
I think we ran round that very quickly.
Well, the problem with that is that we had an issue with the fact that it was going to start raining at 6 o'clock, and we had a 5-hour journey after it.
Yeah, and we lost about 2 hours from that storm, didn't we?
Yeah, that's what I mean. The storm was coming at 6 o'clock, so we had to virtually run around to get
because remember we were all stood in the Superman shop for about an hour as well.
Yeah, filming. I think we filmed the bulk of that vlog in that shop.
We did, didn't we? Because we were just stood in there and we couldn't go anywhere. It was pinging it down.
Scott and Mike, we need Black Hole back at Blackpool. If it was the Alton Towers Black Hole, I'd agree, but the Pleasure Beach one, I wasn't that bothered on it, to be honest. It was a great concept, but
I quite liked it, but
I don't really miss it. Don't mind old Wallace and Gromit.
Probably Wallace and Gromit for me.
On the fence with that one, I've got to be honest. Do you think entrance tickets for Pleasure Beach will come back? I'm smiling because I had this conversation with Becky yesterday, and I don't think they'll come back.
I'm feeling not.
Yeah, same. Do you think Pleasure Beach will introduce some kind of testing, no vaccine, no entry policy? I don't think they can do that. I don't think they can stop somebody. Thank you. I don't think you can stop somebody coming in if they've not had a vaccine. But it's a tough one. It's not.
That might depend on wider policies.
Yeah, definitely.
And what other places are doing in general, and what you see, the government might insist on it.
That's true.
You never know. The government might start bringing it in as a sort of one of the relaxation policies. So, but you never know on that one.
I'm just laughing at Mr. Hello's comment about Aston Villa being 1-0 up.
They're not.
Kickoffs in 8 minutes.
Yeah. Nice try.
Yeah. How long do you think the big one will last?
Well, it's got another 30 years in it, at least.
At least. There's going to be...
The fact that it's been tracked.
There's another retrack coming over this winter before the new season, which I can't say too much on at this point, so I'm just going to leave that there. But it will last. It will outlive Nemesis, just to be controversial. Sorry, Mike. It will outlive Nemesis. Definitely.
It's got far more chance of outliving Nemesis.
Yeah.
You've got two parks there with two very different attitudes to retention of rides.
Oh, any motorcyclists in PBE? Well, if my dad counts, then back in the day, then yeah. And Becca's dad is also a biker as well, so yeah, I suppose seems as they both have a big influence on PBE, then I'd say yeah. But in terms of me being on a motorbike, probably never going to happen.
You won't get me there.
Won't get Mike on one. Beck would probably go on one.
Yeah, I'd do a UK tour on a bike.
Beck would definitely do it.
The closest you're getting me to a bike is Velocity.
Fair enough. Or Hagrid's when we get there eventually.
Yeah, if ever.
Most underrated ride at Pleasure Beach?
Ooh.
Express.
Yeah, Pleasure Beach
Rev.
Express. Rev? Fair enough. I'll drink to that.
It gets overshadowed by its mate next to it.
What, Steeplechase? Or Nickelodeon Streak?
Big one.
Everton lost. Who were they playing?
West Ham.
West Ham.
Moisey.
Come on, David Moyes. Do you think Big One's UK record will be broken. If anyone's going to break it, I think it'll be Pleasure Beach, funnily enough. I just don't know when.
It's the only place that can do it, realistically.
It's hard to know for sure who'll do it. I really don't know. Carl says he'll keep us updated on United and Craig won't be happy. I'm not making any predictions. So David says we need Astro Storm, Space Invader back at Blackpool Pleasure Beach or a new ride in its place. The problem is there's not much space. And I think that you'd have to take out Pizza Kitchen, which is all good, but then you're going to have to probably build a ride that extends into Nickland, I think. I don't know. It's a difficult one. Big Dave, don't know what you're missing on a bike. Becca will agree.
Yeah.
I'm not getting into that subject. It's a tough one. First motorbike. Bring back the Iron Brew sponsorship. If it means that Iron Brew will get given out to everyone that rides it, then I'm all for it. See what Iron Brew can do for you. Yeah. Do you think the dome will be refurbished or demolished? I think demolished. Definitely demolished.
Yeah.
My little prediction for that is that's the first part of the redevelopment of that whole area in terms of Planet Rock and Bowlerdrome. I think that's the first part of it. So the bigger one launch out to sea, that would have been nice. But yeah. Thoughts on the London resort? Do you know what? I'm starting to think it might happen. If they're putting planning permission in, I think there's a good chance it's going to happen, you know. I really do.
I believe it when I see it.
I'll believe it when I see it, but I think that we're at the point now where they're as close to it ever happening as they're going to be, especially with it being planning permission going in. With planning permission going in, I think there's a good chance, definitely. What would you change about the big one?
Ooh. It's hard to say.
I'd lower the turnaround. The way I'd do the turnaround is I'd make it swoop down rather than swooping up. So rather than it going up, it'd come back down. And then maybe change the hills coming back. I don't know how you would do it without completely changing the whole ride. Maybe just give it some more airtime on the return leg.
Yeah. I wonder if that, I don't know how possible it is, but to basically reprofile the second hill so that there's two smaller ones maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. It is
make them more into the cone shape rather than the
triangular hills.
Yeah.
How many beers is Mike going to get offered to ride the Nickelodeon log flume multiple times in a row in February so you can all laugh at him? Mike will be offered lots of cheap beer so that he keeps riding that log flume because it makes for great content. So anything to keep encouraging. But I think that everybody should just do it, except for me because I'm the cameraman and I need to film it. But otherwise, everyone else needs to go. And I think Mr. Mark Yates, who's hiding in the comments, needs to stop worrying about getting his hair wet and go on it as well.
We've got a comment there about give the big one 150-foot loop. There's two words I can say to that, and that is Steel Phantom.
Yeah, definitely. Not going to happen, is it?
There's a reason why Phantom's Revenge exists, put it that way.
The old or current profile of the first drop on the big one. I wish I could say I did the old drop. I wish I could say. I was slow starter with coasters, unfortunately. So, Scott and Mike, thoughts on a GCI retracking Pleasure Beach's Woodies? I don't think there's any chance, to be honest, largely because Pleasure Beach are very capable of doing it themselves. It's just comes down to budgeting, and I think that when you're a family-owned business, you do have to sort of choose your battles carefully with what you're maintaining over winter and what you're putting money into. And I think I think it's one of those. If you started on a coaster like the Grand National, let's say you started to redo one part of it, you then potentially have to do it all in one go, which then leads to it maybe being closed for a year. And then if you run into financial difficulties, it may then end up closed for a lot of years. So I think that
one up there from Top Thrill Tourists about the water park near Trafford Centre.
Yeah,
that's what we think. I think that's quite an interesting development. I did see that comment that Becca's put there about the first you've heard about it. It's for a bit of background. It's going where Event City currently is, beside Barton Square.
Yeah.
It's part of regarding the traffic. It's one of the things that's linked in with the tram line now being there, because there's a stop right outside where it will be.
I just think the idea of a water park in Manchester is quite amusing.
That's great.
Tropical.
2 minutes up the road. I love that.
Manchester's tropical weather conditions will really lend itself to a water park.
Yeah,
for those who don't get wet enough outside, let's go inside and get even more wet in a water park.
The thing is, when I looked at it, it's more than just a water park.
Yeah.
There's a spa element to it. I mean, and on a lot bigger scale than what Sandcastle has as well.
Yeah.
Because Sandcastle has a small spa at the back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But this is ground up. This has got a water park area, a spa area. It's going to be huge from what I've seen. So it's going to be like a tropical paradise type thing, enclosed.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just laughing at James Chadwick's comment. Do you like Blackpool Pleasure Beach? I'm sorry for laughing, James, but I'll give you a clue. Yes. Oh dear. Carl, he says it'll be perfect for us Manx.
Yeah.
Probably a fair point, to be honest. Chris Bailey got distracted by Doctor Who. That's fair enough. I think we're going to be here a while. I've got a lot of questions to catch up on because, again, we take two. This is why PB Monthly used to take hours, because we'd get one question and take 20 minutes to answer each one. Why do I think the Pleasure Beach's monorail went? I can say for sure that it was due to the cost of maintaining it. It needed a bit of work doing on it, and it just got to the point where it wasn't viable to keep it going.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Leesburg's water park? Very excited. I think everything Leesburg do, they do it excellent. So I think they'll do that really well. There was a question further up from Megan as well about thoughts on the Alton Tower season pass. I don't think there'll be separate passes for the Merlin parks, because I think Merlin will want people to buy their new pass or their new passes. Sorry, can't say for sure though, but I do think they'll try and draw people into the Merlin passes before they draw them into individual park passes. And I think as well, the system was it was really badly abused when they opened the whole calendar up for booking. It was badly abused.
That annoyed me quite a lot, because it meant that we just couldn't get near it.
No, we couldn't, and it meant that when we did go to like Scarefest and Fright Nights, we ended up going at extremely busy times because they were literally the only days left to go. Mm-hmm. So trying to keep up with the comments. Thoughts on the new Merlin passes?
Quick one, Dan Nicholson. Are Merlin still doing monthly payments? Yes.
For now, I think they'll just go up, to be honest.
Yeah.
Will Club Pleasure Beach Experience do a theme park WrestleMania package? No.
Just that there's no wrestling fans within the team. Put it that way.
I thought you were.
I used to watch it when I was a kid, but
yeah,
I've not watched it for a long time.
The only wrestling fan we've got really is Graham, and he only makes an appearance at Christmas. Not at Christmas, sorry, at Halloween. Why Christmas? Oh, this is why we don't do things live.
Yeah.
Nige says, what did I miss? I jumped in the shower. Just missed an hour and 5 minutes of me and Mike waffling, really. This is just a general me and Mike conversation. It's just that it's got direction rather than us just talking absolute nonsense. We're talking nonsense with direction.
Yeah.
When do you think Pleasure Beach will remove infusion? I'm going to be controversial. I don't think they'll remove it for a long time. I think it will outlive Steeplechase. It will outlive maybe one or two of the Woodies. I think it's popular.
Again, like most things, when it becomes not viable to maintain it.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry if we're missing your questions. We are trying to keep up with them. Craig says it's kick-off. Do you think Pleasure Beach will add any new thrill rides, as Icon was the last one and takes up most of the valuable space? Pleasure Beach will have plans, definitely.
they talked about around the time Icon opened about to us as a group about like the sort of their 5-year plans and things like that.
Yeah.
All parks have sort of short-term and long-term plans.
Yeah. The thing
with
is,
a best
as well,
case and a worst case scenario.
Something I learned last year when I did the IAPA Expo in Paris, 2 years ago, was that it's not like buying a new car where it takes a couple of weeks to sort of do all the paperwork. It takes forever. They've got a plan where it's going to go, what it's going to cost, who's going to build it, because you could buy a coaster from Vekoma, but you could build it in-house or another company could build it. For example, I know that Mac look after some of GCI's sort of contracts in Europe if they get any. That's something that was spoken about a couple of times, that they look after. There's a lot of the manufacturers work together. They sort of like RMC and Vekoma work together. A lot of the manufacturers work together and subcontract jobs out to each other. And there's a company called Martin and Vlamenx, I think I've pronounced that right. They do a lot of wooden roller coaster building over in the Middle East because they build coasters for the Gravity Group over there, and I think they've done stuff for Vekoma over there.
Building and maintenance. They do a lot of maintenance as well, don't they, Martin and Flemings?
Yeah, I can't remember what the question was.
And like, bear in mind as well with Icon that was sort of 5, 6, 7 years in the planning.
Yeah.
Before it was best part of 10 years in the planning, really, between planning to opening.
Yeah.
You had the mapping of it. They spent a long time mapping it out. It was out to tender for about 18 months if he was going to build it.
Yeah. I was just laughing about Revolution on 2 trains.
2 train service.
What water ride would you like to see next at Alton Towers? Chiapas. Something like Chiapas.
Water coaster.
Yeah, fair enough. Either or.
So you won't get Chiapas because everyone will just go, well, that's just wasn't that the one you knocked down 2 years ago?
Yeah, I suppose. Right, yeah.
But definitely a water coaster, I reckon.
Yeah. I think a water coaster or something like Chiapas would definitely be very nice. In terms of what Alton Towers do next, obviously they've got Gangster Granny opening this year, which should have opened last year. Should have opened last year, obviously, but of course, due to coronavirus, it's been delayed, which was the right decision, I think. I think it's always tough to launch a new ride in a pandemic. So I think a lot of things will be delayed as a result, generally speaking. But I think Towers will look at getting another coaster probably in the next 2 or 3 years. It just seems to go with the sort of time scale they go with. Admin's on fire. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Well done, admins and moderators. Thank you very much.
We have got about 5 of them on the go there.
Yeah, doing a great job. Scott, do you think Nick Streak will remove Rollercoaster? I don't think Rollercoaster will get removed anytime soon. I certainly, while I'm sat next to Becca, I'm going to say I certainly hope not as well.
Yeah, I think something with that is the park fought really hard to keep it.
Yeah.
About 5 years ago, when Nickelodeon they had to, there was it being painted orange was a massive compromise between them and Nickelodeon to allow them to keep the 2 Woodies in the park.
Yeah.
So they put it this way, like all of the Woodies, they will keep it as long as they can feasibly have it there.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to read the questions in the movie. What are your thoughts on the new Flamingo Land coaster, which is already at its 3rd park? Well, Mike, it's been a year since we went to
we
have a look at it
this time last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
I can't wait to have a go on that when it finally opens.
Bye, Alfie. Thanks for watching. Do you feel Alton Towers is being left behind compared to European parks? It's hard to say. One thing that I regret in vlogs of the past is that we compare parks and coasters too much. It's like, when I watched the Kennywood vlog back, I'm like, why did we feel the need to compare their Woodies to Pleasure Beaches? It's an easy thing to do, but I wish we hadn't done it as much. And I think on that basic.
But at the same time, there is an obvious comparison there,
Yeah.
especially when one of them name checks.
Yeah.
When you've got two coasters that are so well, especially now that they are unique as being the only two like that, it's very easy to do and understandable.
Yeah. So, in terms of them being left behind, I don't know. It's a hard one. I think Towers is always going to be popular because of what it is, but many people know that Towers is not my favourite park in the country. I would rate Pleasure Beach and Fort before Towers. But
don't forget as well, got to remember for people to remember, the British market is very different to the European market.
Yeah. I think a lot of people sort of say about Pleasure Beach as well, and we've been guilty of it in the past, that Pleasure Beach don't open late enough and stuff like that. But you remember when Fort Park stayed open till 10 during the Love Island Lakes thing? The park was a ghost town. After 6 o'clock.
Yeah, that was
in
fun
August,
that afternoon.
Yeah, 6 o'clock in August, you're thinking the park's going to be busy. Dead.
No.
Absolutely dead. There was nobody there. So I can kind of see why the Merlin parks especially only stay open late during Halloween. Pleasure Beach, I still feel like Pleasure Beach could be open later in the summer.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that they're very interchangeable with their times. They go, yeah, it's busy, we're going to stay open until 10. Fair enough. We really should answer Oscar, who's asked a lot. How many shoes are in or underneath Infusion? Probably lots. Probably lots. Yeah. Luckily, I've never lost a shoe on a ride.
No, I haven't.
I've always tied them too tight.
There's another question there about have we ever lost out on a ride? A sanity.
You lost that long before going on rides. Getting involved with PBE.
I come very, very close to losing a phone on the big one time.
Yes.
Hadn't zipped my pocket up, and I felt the phone slip down onto the seat halfway up the lift hill, and just managed to shove it back in my pocket and do it up in time.
I've done a full lap on the big one and got back to the brake run and gone, oh dear, my pocket with my car key was open. I've done that a few times and gone, whoops, shouldn't have done that. But yeah, I've never actually lost anything. But I'll tell you a funny story about people losing stuff. If Stuzz is watching, he will remember this, and I can even tell you when it was. It was in August 2006, and I know my memory is ridiculous for being able to remember this. He lost his phone twice at the Pleasure Beach the same day, and twice got it back. He dropped it off of Bling. Now, you will not be surprised. You will not be surprised. It was a Nokia 3310.
It was old Nokia.
And it survived. It survived falling from the top of Bling. So then, just to make sure that the phone was going to survive again, he decided to then drop it off the Big Dipper. And it still survived. So, yeah. I can't believe it, but it somehow managed to keep going. But yeah, if you dropped the phone now,
you know.
Yeah, those phones actually lasted. They were made to last.
Yeah, there was something. I don't. A few people have probably seen them. The sort of box of shame that some rides have.
Yeah.
I think it was Cullen had the remnants of an iPhone in it. And when I say the remnants, I mean it was barely recognisable as being an iPhone.
Yeah.
It was that badly smashed.
I'm laughing at Luke's comment. How big was the creator for Stuzz's phone?
Creator left. It's huge.
It cleared the space for Icon. Cleared the space for Icon, that did.
Yeah.
Right, so... Oh, what have I done there? Why have you got press exit to screen? Okay. Sorry, Mike, I just nearly closed your screen by accident. Just want to say hello to John and Edith, because they've said hello a couple of times and I didn't reply. Any ideas where the celebration brick will be located? Because it's John that's asking, I'm just going to say scripted. Honestly, I don't know. Be interesting to see where they do put it. Did you ride the kangaroo at Kennywood? I don't remember us doing it. No, I don't even think it was open. When we were there, half the park was shut, to be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of it was shut.
And again, we did leave fairly early for travelling reasons.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was, another 3-hour drive back up to Cedar Point from there. And that was the trip where we got attacked by midges.
Oh.
and the car screens were battered. I'll have to put a picture on socials. If I forget, please remind me. But there's a picture of my father-in-law cleaning the windscreen on our hire car because it was just absolutely battered.
Did you know Chevrolet now make fly swatters as well as cars?
What is the worst ever ride you've been on?
Coaster Express.
Coaster Express? Oh, come on. It's not that bad. There's got to be Pinfari's worse.
Oh, Turbo.
Turbo in Brighton?
Yeah, that was bad.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, well, I've seen the footage of your POV of it that can't be broadcast for...
Yeah,
the language involved.
Yeah, language. Yeah, we won't mention that then. Do you think you'll ever get the chance to do an exclusive interview with Amanda Thompson? I'm working on it for the Pleasure Beach documentary. Hopefully we can make it happen. If you didn't know, there is an interview with Nick Thompson from Icons Media Day on the channel. That was a very nice opportunity.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. I tell you, Nick Thompson is one of the nicest people you will ever meet in the amusement industry. He has got time for everybody. He's always happy to chat. If he's not busy, of course, I wouldn't just go up to him and start talking to him if he's working. But if he sees you and he says hello, he's more likely to stop for a chat. He is that nice. He's a great guy. Really, really great guy. I've seen Amanda not as often, to be honest, but Amanda does stop and chat as well, to be fair. What changes would you like to see on Valhalla? I'm just going to say, I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, the vortex is the big one for me, I think.
Yeah. I think boat drainage. Honestly,
yeah, vortex and boat drainage. Well, I think those two things go hand in hand because I think the vortex filling the boat up doesn't help the boat drainage at all.
No, agreed. If you had to have a roller coaster next door to your house, what would it be? A quiet one.
I'm quite happy to have a roller coaster. Bear in mind that I've got a park behind me.
Yeah, but you can sleep through anything.
Yeah, I've got a park behind me that would quite nicely fit, I'd say a dragon car in it.
Oh, no, that's too loud. I wouldn't have a B&M next door. Something nice and quiet. Something
you can have a Vekoma in there and listen to the lift hill.
Oh, for goodness sake, you and Vekomas. Jay says United still 0-0. Don't be surprised we don't score until the 90th minute.
You're not shocking us with
that. No. Turbo is awful, and yeah, I ride it every time I go. To be fair, if I went back to Brighton Pier, I'd go on it again.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing we do, though, isn't it, as well?
Happy New Year to Nicola, who's just joined. If you could change one thing at Pleasure Beach tomorrow, what would it be and why?
Open it.
Oh, yeah, right. What? All the trains are in the workshop. Good luck. What we doing? We doing a lift hill walk?
Gladly.
Gladly, yeah. No thanks. It'd be cold at this point in time.
I couldn't care less.
Oh, hey,
at this moment in time.
Some rather tasty photos of you on the log on a waltz has been dug up. Sorry, Mike.
Oh,
it still doesn't beat him falling off a dinghy. And Rick, if you've not watched it, I'm disappointed.
You need to watch it.
You need to watch it.
Am I watching the match? No, I'm not.
Is Mike about to drop off
to sleep? No, I'm not.
Give it time. Give it time.
I guess you rate Hero then. Never been on it. Been on its clone. Definitely not.
Yeah, it's absolutely awful, Hero. But there is many candidates for terrible coasters out there. That's the thing.
There's several that I could think of.
Have you felt parks in general have been more accommodating to content creators in 2020? Yes, definitely. Compared to 5 years ago, I think parks are a lot more open to working with coaster content creators, definitely. And I think it's been a great shift in that way. 100%. Do you remember Coach back from Blackpool one time?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. What advice would you give someone who's riding a roller coaster for the first time? That's a tough one, to be honest, because I think everyone experiences a roller coaster for the first time differently in terms of what emotions they're feeling.
Just don't tense up.
Yeah, just sit naturally. Don't sort of lean forward. Don't end up bumping your face on lap bar by leaning forward.
Grab
don't
rails.
Close your eyes. Just sit naturally. Just embrace it, and just remember that if you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. So you only have to do it once. How's the Big One retrack progressing? Very well. There's nothing to report on in terms of video content at the minute. Of course, I can't go to Blackpool now anyway. Just laughing at one of the other comments. I'll get to it in a minute. Yeah, Big One retrack. I don't know if it'll be done in time for opening day, but what I do know is that progress is good, and everybody's going to have a nice little surprise when they see it done, because something might be a little bit different. That's all I'm going to say. What are you going to do when they remove Magnum? Watch videos of it repeatedly and remember the times I did 18 laps on it on the bounce in May 2018.
Book flights there very quickly.
Yes, if they announced the closing date for it in enough time in advance that I could go, then absolutely I'd be on the plane and I'd be there for its last day, 100%. Let's have a look. Do you think Lightwater Valley's on borrowed time? I don't like to speculate on these things, but quite possibly. Favourite UK Woody is
Megaphobia.
Probably Big Dipper at this point, because I enjoyed it more than anything else last year. Oh yeah, forgot about that, Mark, the Opinion Corner video. Becca's laughing at something, I need to figure out what. Scott, do you like Ice Blast? Not as much as I used to back in the day.
No,
First time I rode it,
PlayStation, not as good as it used to be.
So I rode it when it was PlayStation, the ride, and I think it was excellent back then. Will Pleasure Beach make Infusion any smoother? I don't know. Honestly,
probably not. I can't see them changing it.
The new trains on Vekoma SLCs are not as good as people might imagine. You know, in terms of, they make the ride smoother. I've been on a recent Vekoma SLC with those new trains, and I actually prefer the old trains, to be honest. I'm trying to keep up with these comments because they're coming thick and fast again, which is brilliant. Thank you. What would be your fantasy theme park coaster lineup? Up to 5 coasters. All right, okay then. Helix. Definitely Helix. Mike disagrees. Probably. Oh, can I have the big one in Magnum? They're the same
I'm going to
thing.
say I could pick 5 just from Cedar Point.
Yeah, that's the issue. I'll get back to you on that one. That might well be a video in itself.
Yeah.
Do you think Southport Pleasureland should get a signature coaster? Yes. I think they need to get, I've said this a couple of times, they need to get a modern wooden roller coaster and just call it the new Cyclone, and the locals will lap it up. No doubt about it. Right. Favourite Pleasure Beach merch is definitely one of my Big One wheels, no doubt about it. Will they cut up the Big One's track and sell it? I think at the minute they're using it for analysis, but I think that they will probably do that eventually.
Bit of merch I've got, you can see it behind me there, that icon poster.
Yeah.
Is a good one, because that's not a publicly available one.
Yeah.
That was one of the promotional posters from shortly before the ride opened that was given to me by Pleasure Beach for some media work we did.
John Vegas says, do you see the UK getting a Let Coaster type coaster from Vekoma? Hopefully, because that was
somebody
excellent.
will end up building one somewhere down the line, I think.
I hope so. That was excellent.
Vekoma are doing good things at the moment.
They are. Vekoma are spot on at the minute.
Yeah.
Do you see the Pleasure Beach becoming a theme park? No, hopefully never, to be honest, because I think they just work as an amusement park better. I can't imagine the Pleasure Beach being themed. I don't think it'd work in its setting. Not unless it's themed to the beach. Mike's not really responding to me on that one. What do you think?
What's that one? A theme park in
Pleasure Beach being a theme park. Just can't see it.
Doesn't work. You'd have to change too much.
So, Amelia's 1.4 next year, asking what's your favourite at Thorpe, and what would you think she should go on
Ooh, Stealth.
First? Stealth. Definitely Stealth. 100%.
Shout out to Amelia and Dave as well.
Do you think Magnum will be closed soon? Probably in the next 10 years, definitely.
Yeah.
But until it's closed, I'll keep going to Cedar Point when possible, because I know it won't last forever. And like I said earlier on, once it's gone, I won't have the same urgency to go back there. As good as a park as it is, I just think for me it'd be one of those where I go, well, actually my favourite ride's gone. I don't need to go there quite as often. Thoughts on a B&M dive machine at Pleasure Beach? I'd love it.
As much as I'd love it, I still think that Oblivion's the best one I've been on. So
yeah, that's the thing. If it didn't have vest restraints, it'd certainly help improve it. Yeah, I think I'd love to see it, and I think that if they were going to take a record again, that would be the one for it, because the lift, hill, and the drop are the only thing that needs to be the record breaker. Everything else can be quite low after that.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that Pleasure Beach used to say back in the day was, if we can find space for a coaster station, we can build a coaster.
Yeah.
So I think on that logic, you look at it and there's probably plenty of spaces one could go. So yeah, definitely up for that if it happens. Trying to keep up with the comments again.
Thoughts on having a wing coaster at Pleasure Beach?
I'm just going to reply to this one about the Valhalla behind the scenes video. I did reply very quickly earlier on. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. Question for Mike: why did they build the tallest SLC in Skegness? Why not Pleasure Beach or somewhere like Thorpe?
I don't know. The only people that could answer that question realistically are the people that owned Fantasy Island at the time.
Yeah, I think on reflection, they would probably, if they had their time again, they absolutely wouldn't do it again.
No,
they wouldn't. I think it was a good idea on paper to do it, but I just don't think, generally speaking, I don't think it was a good idea. It is a good coaster odyssey, but I think with how much trouble it's had over the years, I don't think it was the best choice. And I think I can see why they did it. It was, we want to compete with Blackpool. Blackpool built a massive coaster. We can do the same and attract the same amount of people. But I just don't think it was ever going to have the same pull as the big one unless it was as big as the big one or bigger. But with that type of coaster and that type of wind that they have there, they were always going to struggle.
Yeah. And it had to be retracked once.
Yeah.
Because it was just too big.
Yeah. Banshee at Kings Island I thought that was, I've got to be careful, but I didn't think it was good. I don't think it helped that I needed about Kings
Island is, hoping that the event does go ahead, it's a part that I am quite looking forward to going back to, because I really want to give the place a second shot.
Yeah, definitely.
We've detailed quite a bit in the last 12, 18 months that the day we didn't have the best day at Kings Island for a number of reasons. One of them being that we were all goosed.
Yeah.
We're absolutely shattered. You've all seen me fall over there and knacker my shoulder, so I didn't enjoy my day there. And I didn't get to go and have a second go on most of the coasters because of it. There was a storm coming in, which meant we had to leave early. There's loads of reasons we didn't have a good day there. But we're really looking forward to going back there and giving it another go, definitely.
It makes me sad when I think about Kings Island, to be honest, because the night before we went, I sat in Hotel Breakers TGI Fridays with Mullet, with Mark, with Andy and with Tara, and we sat there, and the five of us sat there debating, do we actually want to go to Kings Island? Are we awake enough to go to Kings Island? Are we too fatigued? We've got another 6 o'clock start in the morning after it. We've got another 6 o'clock start after that, and then a 4 o'clock in the morning start after that. Is this a good idea? And we sat there and we sat there and we sat there discussing it, and we discussed it for probably the best part of 3 hours. Mark will probably remember. He might mention it in the comments section here. We all decided, except for Mullet, that it was a good idea to go because we'd paid $100 for the ticket because we'd bought Super Duper Fast Pass that got us on everything, and we bought the unlimited food and drink as well, and we were like, we are literally throwing $100 down the toilet if we don't go. We have to go. And then what didn't help is that we got stuck in traffic on the way. I mean, Mike badly got stuck in traffic.
Really? Yeah, we were like an hour and a half late getting there.
Yeah, we were quite lucky that we had just opened Google Maps 10 minutes before we hit the traffic, and Google was basically shouting loudly, get off this road or you are stuck for the day. I'm glad we got off that road, but we had to take a 40-mile detour to get there. We got there, it was chucking it down. It wasn't warm.
Yeah, the weather wasn't nice that day,
No,
was it?
it was just... The whole day was not a good one, and I think that we took it out on Kings Island because we were all tired, we were cold, because we'd all dressed for good weather, which was stupid because we knew there was going to be a storm. So I think that on reflection, I just write that day off completely, and the only highlight and the only thing that I'll always hold from that day is that I got to ride Vortex before it got removed.
Go on Vortex, even if it was just the once that I got to go on it.
Yeah, I think I did it 3 times, twice in the back row and once in the front row, and I'm so happy I got to do it, and I just wish another park had bought it.
Again, that's something that, because I only got to do it the once, I wanted to like it more than I did the one ride I did on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I remember us chatting about it on video before we went, and we were saying that
that was one of the ones we were really hyped for, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we wanted to like it, but we both said that we thought it'd be rubbish, and we ended up really liking it, but we both wanted to do it more. And I think, obviously, you hurt your shoulder, which I'm not going to laugh about, honestly, because I try not to picture what you did. But anyway, we've got a lot of questions to catch up on.
Yeah.
Do you see Merlin investing in Thorpe despite COVID?
They're always investing in the place.
It's a tough question. I think it would be nice to see Thorpe get a new coaster at some point.
Definitely.
But I'm not going to get on their back over not doing it because, as I think we've discussed before, Thorpe expanded quicker than most parks expand in a 10-year period.
Yeah.
They built a lot in 10 years that a lot of parks would build in 20 years, if that makes sense. So I think cut them some slack for a few more years, and then if it goes to, say, 15 years without a coaster, then I think people are well within their rights to question it. But I think for now, you've got to look that they did so much in such a short space of time. There's been the pandemic. Obviously, Darren Brown's cost them a lot of money over the couple of years that they've had it. I think it's just going to be one of those that they will do something eventually. But it's just got to give them time. But I think Towers is always seen as a priority for Merlin because they draw the most customers in, I think, and they're in the most central location. Should Pleasure Beach bring back the bye-bye closing song? For the anniversary season, why not? It'll be fun.
Get it back.
Especially the bit where they say about the dogs are coming if you don't go. I might have dreamt that bit up, but I certainly remember them sort of saying, get a move on because we're letting the dogs out. Just trying to keep up.
Which ride do we think deserves a new notable Stranger masterpiece?
Infusion would be good for a soundtrack, actually.
Or Rev.
Yeah, Rev.
Actually do a proper one for Rev instead of what's on it at the moment.
Yeah.
Because that was a bit thrown together at the time, but I'd actually get one in and done for Rev properly with all the sound bites and everything in it.
Yeah, so been asked thoughts on Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Obviously, Mike, I'm going to push you to the side for this one. I really liked it. I really, really liked it there. I thought it was an excellent park. Got absolutely hammered for a mistake I made in the vlog, which I still think is quite funny when I said it was in Orlando, and I still regret it to this day saying that. But we were tired. It was one of the last days of that trip, and it just kind of slipped out. Oh, we're in Orlando. No, we're not. We're in Tampa. Sorry. But yeah, excellent day there. Me and Becca got very lucky because there was no queues for anything, and I think because it was nearly Becca's birthday, they let us lap Coomba for ages, and we mentioned that it was nearly Becca's birthday, and they were like, "I'll just stay on it then." And I think we did like 10 laps on it in the go, and after that we were like, "Yeah, we need a drink. This is getting a bit much." But in terms of the park in general, very, very good park. Enjoyed seeing the Gators too, actually. Can't wait to go again at some point. Their Halloween event looks incredible. Something I'd very, very much like to do. Hoping to get over for Iron Gwazi this year, but it entirely depends on where we are with the pandemic and everything that's going on in the world and financial situation when it comes to it. It's one of those where it's going to be go on Skyscanner. If it's cheap in 2 months' time, go for it. If it's not, leave it till next year. But I want to get Mike there because I know he'd love it.
Yeah, I want to go.
He'd absolutely love it there.
Yeah.
You're doing a live session while United are on telly. Oh, whatever, Graham Stewart, causing trouble. For context, Graham, we know Graham, and he's a trouble-causing Man City fan, isn't he, Mike?
He's a dirty bloke.
Nah, we love Graham. He's ace.
Good lad, it's Graham.
Graham,
Shout out.
Becca says we're
Shout
saving
out,
Graham
Graham,
from
hope
watching
you're
the
doing all right.
nonsense. Nah, Graham's ace. Looking forward to seeing Graham again.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Far too long. John says, do they still have the dome at Pleasure Beach, which had an arcade? They do.
Still there.
But
Just.
It's going now. I think it'll be going eventually. They'll be putting something inside of it at some point. Definitely.
Excuse me.
Oh,
Getting rid of it full stop.
He's falling. He's going to sleep. Oh, Dave Stone. Here we go.
Oh, chew David pipe up.
Yeah. We're being overrun by Man City fans here. How does it feel to be below Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Man United? Sorry, had to say it.
Can't be said.
So let me see where we're up to. Dan Nicholson says United won in 40 quid last week. That's good. Happy about that. Have you been on X2 at Magic Mountain? Unfortunately not, but I think for a while it's going to be before I get to Magic Mountain, but someone else in the room I'm sat in is going to be going at some point, hopefully, with the pandemic permitting.
California is a bucket list for us all.
Yeah, I think for me, Mike and Mark, Mike's going to be thinking, for goodness sake, how much money do you think I've got here? But I think we'll probably look at going maybe next year, like early next year, maybe this time next year, because it's open year round when there's not a pandemic. So I think if we can find some of those lovely cheap flights that are always on Skyscanner when we've never got any money, then we might well go at some point, definitely. What was your highlights for the 2020 season? Chris Armies asks. I'll say to Chris, please watch my last video yesterday because I put mine in there. But Mike, what about yours?
Highlight the 20. I think that run down south was good.
Yeah. Brighton Pier to Hayling Island.
Yeah.
Southend.
I think that was a really good couple of days.
Would you bring back the whip? Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely. Especially after doing the one at Kennywood.
We did one at Kennywood.
So many great memories that did.
Yeah.
What do you think Pleasure Beach will do next, Mike? I'll leave that to you.
What do I think they'll do next? Hard to say.
Oh, did I not drink it? That'll be why I've got a sore throat.
Hard to say, really. I think I know they want to build a coaster somewhere down the line.
Thanks, Luke. Just before he goes, cheers, mate. Thank you for your help. Yeah. Carry on, Mike. Sorry.
I think that they're always tidying the place up. They're always doing that. That's general. I'm not sure, to be honest.
No, it's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah.
What new roller coaster are you looking
I think a lot of it goes down to finances.
Yes, definitely.
And what happens in the next 12 months.
Yeah, definitely. What roller coaster are you looking forward to riding next, in terms of new ones?
Oh, Batman. Both of them.
What, the
There's
one
two
in Rill?
Batmans on the trip.
Oh, I thought you meant the one in Rill.
Yeah.
We still need to get you on that one at some point.
Assuming the trip, obviously assuming we do get America, and we hope so. There's the two Batman coasters that I really want to get on.
Yeah, B&M's.
Yeah, the two Batmans. There's you do an entire video on new coasters on that trip because there's about 60 credits on it.
Yeah. Conda, next Europe's #1. That's Wallaby Belgium's new coaster. I'd have to say it's looking like a strong contender for one of the best coasters in the world. If it's anything like Hyperion, it will be incredible. It really will be incredible. D Stone says best contractor at Pleasure Beach. Not Dave. Sorry, Dave. Because you asked, I'll say not you. Thanks for the brew. I need to remember to drink this one. Mike, I'll let you pick a comment to reply to because I'm going to swig me brew.
John Hazelton, Pleasure Beach needs a good restaurant. Agreed, definitely.
Absolutely.
I would like to see them do work around the fountain, the FY4 area, and get a proper purpose-built indoor food court, maybe like a multi-level thing.
Yes. something like the Velvet
Massively
Coaster.
agree with that comment.
Something like Velvet Coaster.
Yeah, definitely. Or what I was thinking, more of all the separate little bits, but in one building rather than being open.
Yeah, definitely.
There was one there. Best United player, Cantona or Giggs. Favourite United player is Cantona. Giggs would be the better player in terms of achievements, whatnot.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd go with that. We were asked further on about if we did the greatest show on earth at Pleasure Beach. No. I'm sorry.
I did.
Becca did it. They
should bring it back.
Becca says, bring it back instead of Burger King. I agree. As long as he serve burgers when you get on and off.
One there about did we ever do the old Southport River Caves? I never did it.
I did it.
You might have done, yeah.
I did that. I actually went to Pleasureland Southport 2 days before they announced it was closed. I'm pretty lucky, really. I had been before that, but I went again with Coaster Force. Those were the days. Coaster Force events. Mark Raybold will remember those for sure. But yeah, I missed that version of Pleasureland. Definitely. That was a good version of Pleasureland. I enjoyed that. It was like mini Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It's just all the upset over Cyclone, though, I think was largely because of its historical status rather than it actually being a good coaster, because it was a weak wooden coaster for definite. It struggled to get up the first hill after the first drop. So, yeah, an interesting one there. I don't know if you went on that, Mike, Cyclone.
No, I never did it.
Did you just not go that park at all?
I only went. I went a handful of times, 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
I only went on. They put it this way: the only rides I really remember going on are Traumatizer, Space Shot, and the Cyclone, and Chaos.
Yeah. Mark says he still goes to Coaster Force lives. I've just not been one for so long. I should do at some point, because the Coaster Force guys came on an event with us in 2018. That was good, because we did a merged Icon ERT. I'd like to do that again sometime with Coaster Force. Maybe the next time Pleasure Beach get a coaster, which hopefully won't be like once me and Ian have both finished running our respective sites. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Cyclone was a weird one at Pleasureland Southport, because it had historical value and it felt very much like a Pleasure Beach woody, but it struggled so much on that first corner after the first drop. It was a bit of a joke, really. Cophead Strike being better than Helix is certainly an interesting one. I'd like to do it at some point, but it's a difficult one to get to. Maybe it'll crop up on a PB America event sometime.
I'm picking one out here. Right, comment. Ride UK's put Chuck's in the Southport River Caves on their last day working there in '98. That just sounds typical of what used to go on back in them days.
Well, you say that, but 2007 working at Towers, it was quite common to get bucketed on the log flume. If you worked on the log flume and went on it as a guest, you were getting water thrown over you. Absolutely, no doubt about it. It didn't matter how cold it was. If you were daft enough to go on the ride you worked on when you worked at Towers and it was a water ride, you were getting water over your head. And it happened far too many times.
I have been bucketed on Valhalla. I will not say who, when, or how long ago it was, but I have been bucketed on Valhalla.
Yeah.
I'll not say any more because I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but that was funny.
So who scored? 1-0 to United or Villa?
It is.
I'm confused.
It's 1-0 United.
Because Craig says yes, 1-0, and then Gemma put 1-0 to Villa.
Tony Marshall.
Oh, he's actually done something. Wow.
Yeah, he's put the ball in the net. Do you remember he's a centre forward? First.
Did you ever get to Pleasure Island in Cleethorpes? Unfortunately not.
No.
We did look at going, actually, the last week it was open.
It's one of them we put off and never got around to it.
Yeah, and then when they announced they were closing, we did kind of go, yeah, we'll go on it. We'll go there, sorry. And then it never actually happened, which is a shame. But it's just one of those. And yes, Gemma, United have scored.
Great goal, according to Carl.
He would say that. Biased. Mike, have you told the story about the Nash being very unhappy and jumping off the tracks? What? That's an interesting one.
No, never heard that one.
No, I guess it'd have to be true to be common knowledge, really. But I don't know. Maybe if it appears in the press, I'll believe it. But yeah, interesting one that. Definitely. So, Mike, I was going to ask you a question, but I've already asked you about Vacomas in the country. Decent goal diving header. So, Pleasure Beach, hopefully, before Easter. Seems like it will be about Easter time, though, with the restrictions.
Yeah.
What other
Something I'd love to see is when everyone is actually allowed back, is for us to have the traditional opening weekend, but just whenever we're allowed to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So even if it's like mid-May or something, when we can get everyone up to do the usual Velvet Coaster chaos.
Yeah. Were you happy you got on the big one before Storm Dennis came in what was on opening day? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Very happy because we managed to do it twice.
I did it once.
Yeah, I did it the first ride because we ran to it, and then we got lucky because we were walking past it.
Oh no, no, I did it twice as well.
Yeah, because we got lucky because we were just like walking past it. And we're like, wait a minute, it's just reopened. Let's do it.
It's just opening.
So I think we can sort of call a cut-off time because the questions aren't quite as frequent now.
I did have a question from someone who's unable to.
Oh, go on then. I was going to suggest cutting off at 9 o'clock, which is in 15 minutes.
So,
Graham Briscoe asks,
what do you think the plans are for a skate event at Pleasure Beach?
What do we think the plans are for a scare event at Blackpool Pleasure Beach? I'll let you go first, Mike, while I have some of my brew.
I think they wanted to do it's been that long since we did them. I forgot the name of them.
Journey to Hell Freak Nights.
Freak Nights, yeah. They wanted to redo that this year, so hopefully the plans they had for that this year they will input next year now. Well, this year, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this year, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think... I just laughed at some of the comments. Yeah, I think that in terms of it going ahead, I think they'll do one this year. Whether they'll do it the same as they did last year before, I don't know. Because the problem with the one in 2019 was it was a great idea, but there was too much standing around.
Yeah, the execution wasn't great.
I think there was, because we did it twice in quick succession as well, it was quite tough because obviously the preview night was a very, very limited group of people in one group. So it was kind of like everyone went through as a flow at one go. Whereas on occasion, like when we did it on the first night, the standing around took forever. Like from point to point took so long. So I think what I'd love to see them do is kind of have separate mazes, but do it out of park hours. Or even integrate it into park hours. Does it need to have loads of mazes? Could it just utilise, I don't know, the Chinese puzzle maze? Could it utilise some different areas like the tunnels, but also have the rides running and maybe have scare zones? You could use the fountain area as a scare zone or the walk past the ghost train especially. That walk past the ghost train would be awesome as a scare zone.
Yeah, down there.
Yeah, because it's the perfect setting for it, and you can avoid it if you don't want to go through it because you've got children with you. You can easily miss it. You just walk around it, and not only that as well, you could have shows on. You could have some Halloween themed shows on. Pleasure Beach are excellent at putting shows on. They could do some shows in the hub, as they're calling it. That'd be brilliant.
Of course, that's there now that wasn't there 18 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. So, favourite scare event of this year? I know that's a tough one for you, Mike, so I don't think you did any.
None.
None. For me, I'd probably go with, what was it called? It was one of the drive-through events. It was Road to Hell in Coventry was epic. Now, I was really tired when I did that because I'd had a long day anyway, and then I was so tired, desperate to go to the loo, and I couldn't find a loo on the way, and I was just like, I'm not going to enjoy this. And I got there, and the first time I've done a scare event on my own, and it was incredible. Totally recommend it if it comes back. I do want to say that the Tully's drive-through cinema was excellent as well. Really enjoyed that.
Someone's just asked where the hub is. It's the site of what used to be the Wild Mouse. It's now been turned into a bar entertainment area.
Yeah, definitely. Why on the Pleasure Beach Rollercoaster ranking was Infusion so low? I guess it's because when we did our ranking, it was when we asked people to vote, and it was
on a public vote.
Yeah, it was a public vote, a bit like, for example, some of the awards things that have been going on for content creators lately. It's been a case of it goes how people vote. Thanks, Mark, for your help, by the way, Mark Mushrooms. Check out Mushroom Productions channel, who's been commenting. He's been a content creator for about 500 years, as he likes to remind everyone. Check out his channel. He's got some really unique POVs of stuff. Does it all the right way. Does it by asking and stuff like that. I'm not sure. Someone said no need for swearing. I don't think we've sworn on this
there hasn't
once,
been
to be honest.
That was within the Pleasure Beach scare event.
Oh, the Pleasure Beach scare event. Yeah, I would agree. There was too much swearing. Absolutely. Yeah, sorry, I'm just catching up. Alton Towers Scarefest doesn't really feel like Scarefest except for at the mazes. That's the thing. It's just, it feels very much like a normal day at Alton Towers, just with scare mazes, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like it's Halloween. I think Mark Yates should do the retreat on his own, actually. Definitely should do that on his own. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think we should send him in.
We just stand outside and...
Yeah. Sorry, Pork Zero. I thought you meant that we'd been swearing, not the Pleasure Beach event. So please accept my apologies on that. I was just kind of like catching up on the comments and just seeing that. So yeah, Mark would love and hate the retreat, definitely. No doubt about it. So just if you've just joined us, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. We are going to go off air in about 10 minutes time. We've been going for 2 hours nearly. Me and Mike started at 6:15 to have a planning meeting, so we've been on the go for a while, but I've got to say this, apart from the early lag issues, I think it's gone pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah.
So if there's any last questions, please get them in as quick as possible because we'll be going off fairly soon. Rebecca, I can do that. A shout out to your daughter, Gemma.
Yeah. Hello.
Thanks for watching.
Hello, Gemma.
Thanks for your support.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone for your support. 2020 has been a really hard year to do this channel, but the support was amazing throughout the year. Got lots of help with the views, and especially on the stuff over the summer. Massive, massive help. So thank you very much. But yeah, Donna, you're right. We are throwing shade at Mark.
About having someone to go through with him.
Mark needs to do it on his own, and he needs to do Stream Camp as well. See, we can say this because he can't answer us other than in the chat, and we can just ignore him. He can spam us later on Facebook, but we can just mute him for the rest of the evening, can't we? In response to Oscar, what inspired me to start the channel, I'd been making videos at Pleasure Beach long before I made this channel. I made this channel in time with Pleasure Beach Experience coming Club Pleasure Beach Experience because I wanted to document the events we were doing. And then as time went on, we started to do the icon updates, but also it gave me something to do while I was off work when I first had cancer. It just gave me something to do. And then the support on the channel was a lot more than I expected. So I thought, well, I could carry on with doing this. So I've always enjoyed making videos anyway, and this gave me the platform to do it. Absolutely. I've loved it. And Mike's enjoyed being along for the journey for pretty much the whole way. Mike will definitely vouch for me that he's seen me doing videos probably since he's known me, for as long as he's known me, really.
2006.
Yeah, so it's
You've
just
always got a video camera in your hand, haven't you?
Absolutely. So we've had cameras on trips to parks for as long as I can remember. It's just we never really used to do YouTube. It was just just upload it to some server, send it to the people on the trip, and that was it.
Yeah, or it would be on YouTube to a very small audience, just like personal channels.
Yeah, pretty much, definitely.
Yeah.
Calls for
I'm just looking at a couple of the comments
monthly.
Go on.
Go on, Mike. I'm having a brew.
Look at one here. Would you do Barry's amusement park in Portrush, Northern Ireland? Yes, just so we could say we've been on Barry's Big Dipper.
If you want to go on Barry's Big Dipper, that's all good with me. Is the license for Wallace and Gromit ending? I don't think so. Not that I know of, anyway. I don't think it's. I think it's just on a rolling contract, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is there, but it's not ending to my knowledge. I've not heard anything.
No, same.
Do we think Valhalla will be ready for 21? I'd be amazed if it was.
2022, definitely.
Yeah. And a shout out to John. Hello, John. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you. Right, Mike, you better keep up with these questions.
Yeah. What's the most you've been on a coaster in a row? 21 on Revolution.
Probably the best part of 45 or something like that on the big one in 2011. It was ridiculous. It was not a good idea. I got very sunburnt as well, but it had to be done. Just had to be done. Craig Toy, we definitely miss you. No doubt about it. PB Monthly Live. Now, the problem with doing PB Monthly Live is that it would mean sending my little boy off to his grandparents like more often than what we normally do, and I don't think it's fair to do it all the time. If the restrictions drop, then there's no reason why we couldn't do it a different way than how we've done this, as in I actually go to my parents' house and sit in their house and do it so that I'm not keeping my little boy up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, then I'm keeping them awake if it goes on for ages. It's something we'll look at, definitely. I think we'll do more live videos. I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's been a good laugh.
Has been hard to keep up with at times, but we'll definitely do it again. Maybe with a bit of a better setup. But I think at the short notice that we've put it all together, I think we've done pretty well. The viewership on it has been...
Before, so...
What's that, sorry?
We've never done it before, so...
Yeah, it's been a great turnout, and I've really enjoyed it. So, quick shout out to Lucy.
Yeah.
Hi, Lucy Stewart. Hello, you do support the wrong football team, but blame your dad for that.
Yeah, that's your dad's fault, but
he's fully
your music choice is good, though.
Oh, fair enough.
I can't believe the patient painting the Revolution yellow. I'm not sure where that one's come from.
What's that, sorry?
Another comment here. I can't believe they're painting the Revolution yellow. I thought the grey was fine. Oh. What would you prefer? I want it back in blue and orange.
Yellow? I've not heard anything about it going yellow.
No, I haven't either.
No,
I want it back in blue and orange.
If it does go yellow, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask about that. As for a fundraiser on the big one, we gave you support last time, Donna, so definitely if you're going to give it a go, just bear in mind that someone says buy a shed for doing live stream. It's quite cold at the minute, you know. Maybe to be fair, what we can do is when restrictions are dropped, we will do a live stream off the same camera, and it will stream a lot better. So
yeah, because when we sit side by side then and do it rather than.
And then if you fall asleep, it's fine because there won't be a big void on the screen. I can just sort of give you a quick nudge, and then people can ask about the Royal Rumble, and if you do fall asleep, we'll see who the winner is. Freddie says, can he get a shout out? Yes, there's your shout out. Happy New Year. We'll definitely do it again. Carl, I believe you owe Mike a forfeit because he's not fallen asleep. So you lose, I'm afraid. Very sorry about that. The big one's been painted pink. No, that's just called sun damage.
Yeah, that's just time.
It's just tired paintwork, that is. Don't get me started on paintwork. And Craig, I am not going on the Smiler with you this year. I'm sorry, mate. It's not happening. Not doing it again. I need some new video shots of it. That's my excuse. I've got a headache. Your shoulder ache. Fell over on the beast. Right, guys, I'm going to call it quits there. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for getting involved with the live chat. If we didn't answer your question, feel free to stick it on a video and I'll respond to it as soon as possible.
Oh, there's a quick one there. Are we doing all the water rides on the US trip? You bet you we are.
Absolutely.
You bet you we're doing them.
Absolutely. It's got to be done. But yeah, big shout out to the maintenance guys at Pleasure Beach. Kev, we go back a long way. You are a legend. All the best to you and all the best to your workmates as well. Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year. All the best. Mike, thanks for joining me. Mark, next time, pull your finger out and join us. Thank you. See you later. Happy New Year. Take care. See you later.